Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. If we can conduct a roll call, please. Okay, thank you. Is there any declaration of interest? Anything online? Okay. I need a motion to adopt the minutes of the Durham Region Transit Executive Committee meeting of May the 3rd. Thank you, Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Garrett? Thank you very much. All in favor? Or any questions? All in favor? It passes. Thank you. And we have, what? Did somebody? Okay. We have presentation today from General Manager Holmes. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Chair Crawford, CEO Baxter Traherne, commissioners, staff, and members of the public who are with us here today. I'm going to start this morning by sharing just a quick highlights from our GM report for this month. You will see in the report that we do have service change happening on June 19th. So it's our general service reductions that go into place when we have reduced ridership over that summer period that reflects that typical less demand that we're seeing. There's also seasonal enhancements, the 917Z going to the zoo that starts, as well as other recreational and regional destinations. There's also changes in there that will reflect improvements in our availability as well as reliability, and full details are available in attachment 2 of the GM report. Wanted to make you aware as well, at this point in time and to maximize our operational efficiency, our buses will no longer strictly be assigned to a route type. For example, a bus branded Pulse may be assigned to any route on the scheduled network, with the exception of our Pulse branded articulated buses, which we are maintaining on the Pulse 900 route. And the reason we're doing this at this time is that it's challenging managing 2 fleets and 2 different sets of route types. It is inefficient, and particularly at a time when bus operator resources are at a premium, we do need to make sure we're utilizing those resources efficiently. Also, we're nearing the end of the secondary school term and wanted to provide a brief update before the end of this year regarding our pass sales. We did a bunch of work last year in collaboration with our school boards, and really happy to say that our monthly pass sales for youth were up in every category. So the monthly Presto passes increased by 51% over last year. Monthly Presto e-ticket sales increased by 337%. The Y10 passes increased by 10%, and the sales of bulk youth monthly passes to the school boards increased by 171%. So very good progress we're making in terms of advancing bulk youth sale passes and other pass products. On the ridership side, and we've mentioned it here before, that we are seeing now weekly ridership exceeding pre-pandemic levels. And for the week ending May 22nd and 28th, boardings were up 7.5% compared to 2019. That included weekday boardings being up 3.5% and weekend boardings up by 40%. It is interesting, across the transit industry, we are seeing weekend boardings typically being much higher than they were before, so much more travel and public transit on the weekend relative to pre-pandemic times. I did want to raise to your attention today that we are experiencing some challenges related to the application of our Child Fare Free program, particularly those customers who seem to be 13 or older, but are getting on and saying, I'm only 12. And as you know, we rely on our bus operators to inform customers of our fare policies and to give customers the benefit of the doubt when there is a potential conflict. So it has been raised to our attention from our operators that there are concerns with this increasing number of young people who claim to be 12 years old, but they generally look older, and the impact that may be having on our fare revenue that we may be experiencing. So you are aware as well that we continue to actively participate with our GTH agencies on fare integration and service integration programs, and it becomes more critical than ever that is in place to support seamless travel across the GTHA. We do know that our neighboring agencies provide fare-free transit for their customers as well, but many of them have to have a Presto pass. So there is that requirement to be able to purchase the pass appropriately and demonstrate your age. So staff are really, at this point, looking at our current fare policy, comparing what's going on. We plan on coming back with the fall with an information report just to further advance that discussion. From a community engagement perspective, I wanted to let everyone know, and we're very proud that at a recent Durham Accessibility Conference, DRT was recognized for making great progress in our efforts to improve inclusivity and accessibility for public transit customers of all abilities. Hosted on June 3rd by the Carrion Fenn Foundation in partnership with the Ability Center, the Durham Accessibility Conference provided an opportunity for members of the public to access accessibility, educational information, inclusion support, and a better understanding of accessibility needs, laws, rights, and responsibilities. DRT was pleased to be recognized at the event for the efforts we're making in terms of public transit accessibility, including investment in state-of-the-art technology and equipment that ensures DRT buses are fully accessible to meet the needs of persons with mobility challenges, removal of physical barriers with the low-floor vehicles and ramps and spacious designated areas for mobility devices. And we're actually, we recognize the value of those spaces, not just for persons with disabilities, but also young parents who may have strollers as well, which are increasingly on the service. So we're actually increasing the number of those spaces to 3 on our future bus orders just because of the high utilization of those spaces. We also work to customize travel training opportunities for individuals of all abilities and our community engagement opportunities that we're learning from customers and enhancing practices that make public transit a favorable choice for all of our residents of all abilities. So our progress has been made possible by the exceptional staff at DRT, Transit Executive, and the region who've been committed to DRT's journey over the past 10 years to enhance accessible transit services to residents and visitors across our region. To close today, we're excited to be recognizing our 2022 safe drivers at an honorary breakfast on June 12th. And we'll also be honoring the work and dedication of all DRT employees during various internal events during Public Service Week from June 12th to June 17th. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, and thank you, General Manager Holmes, for the report. Last week, Mayor Foster and myself, we had the opportunity to meet with the Catholic Board and the Public Board in Clarington, and they asked me to convey that they would like to see student passes reinstated. I don't know why we canceled them, and there's a reason. Our schools are overrun with cars, parents dropping off students, and it's becoming a hazard for students' safety as well as, it's the environment, cars idling, waiting to pick up or drop off students. So they're wondering if we would consider bringing back student passes, and they asked me to convey that message strongly to us here today. So I am doing that.
Okay, thank you for that. As always, we will follow the direction that the executive committee provides to us. I will indicate, and again, back in 2013 is when the DRT moved forward without a student pass. DRT provides public transit services, not school bus services. School bus services require a whole different requirement for us in terms of the type of vehicles and driver certification, et cetera. So it would be a big issue to be considered to move back into the school busing business. However, we gladly talk with the school boards regarding transit passes to support students attending the schools. And I know that Christopher Norris and his team have been engaged with all the boards here in Durham to see where we have those opportunities to onboard more youth from our community.
Understand that it worked very well previously. That's my understanding, and I don't believe it's replacing school bus. They're walking distance, within 3.2 kilometers. If you're in high school, then you walk. So I don't know. Things has changed. I used to walk, but now parents are dropping them off, and it's caused road deterioration. There are a number of factors. So I don't think they're exactly wanting it to replace school bus. There's no school bus service available for that. So it's fares we're picking up. And
through the chair, and what it sounds like is, again, we're likely in a aligned in terms of maximizing the use of public transit for youth traveling and growing the transit network, which Tech and Council did agree that over the next 10 years, we're going to double the size of and capacity that we have on the road network. So again, I would encourage, and we will reach out to the boards to have that discussion with them to see where we are aligned and where we can add service that will support not only the youth, but also the broader community.
Yeah, so just one more. So in addition to that, if they have the pass, they're going to use it to go to the mall. They're going to use it to, so it goes beyond just going to school. So there's a benefit there as well. So hope that's considered when in any decision that's made.
Agreed. Through the
Thank
chair,
you.
that's what we want. We want more people riding the bus for various reasons. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Brenner?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Through you to the General Manager. Thank you for your overview in terms of the impressive statistics that you provided. Do we have any new statistics as it relates to the post-secondary side of it and all the various satellite campuses that are across the region?
Through the chair, more data, is there any specific to an issue or just in general?
Well,
in general?
I think the question is really in general as it relates. We have a number of satellite campuses across the region, as well as actual campuses within Oshawa itself. So I'm interested in knowing, do we have any up-to-date statistics as it relates to, I guess, the post-secondary students that are using our transit system for any of those purposes, satellite and regular up in Oshawa?
So through the chair, we have detailed for every trip on every day of the year, we have detailed boarding information in terms of where people are getting on and getting off the bus. So in terms of looking at boardings at the post-secondary institutions, we could look at pulling that data. In terms of where people are getting on the bus, so post-secondary students getting on the bus, we are working with our post-secondary institutions as well as Presto on having that data in terms of when they board and they activate the pass in terms of their point of boarding. So we don't have that level of detail yet. We could look at potentially, and I'm looking at Christopher if he could clarify for me, boardings at the campuses that we would be able to provide it. It will take us some time. Just in terms of where we're at, it would be something we'd have to come back in the fall with, just given where we're at this year. But we could provide that level of detail, boardings and lightings at each of the campuses.
Through the chair, absolutely we can.
That would be great, and I recognize it's, will take time to collect that data, but if we could start looking at that data in the fall, I think it really provides a portrait in terms of the usage, but also when and I guess going back to the previous question that was raised in terms of the post-secondary as well, it also allows us to get a better understanding as to the migrating from post-secondary institutions of users of our system to post-secondary, so secondary to post-secondary, to be able to track the trends, which I think is important because when we're looking at not just maximizing the use of our transit system, but also becoming conditioned that public transit is the better way to go, the more ideal way to go, and being able to track it as you go from secondary to post-secondary is a good way to do that, and to be able to look at if you've got too much of a split or too much of a decrease, begin to analyze why we have that.
Thank you. And through the chair, just in response, and I just want to remind that, back in January, we did produce a detailed report regarding service to our post-secondary campuses and what that looked like. And I just want to highlight as well, our service planning team, they do an excellent job. They do evaluate boardings across the entire network, across all the regions when they're designing the service. And at this point in time, and you know, we are at capacity, all of our resources are on the street, based on where those demands that we have been seeing over the past recent while, particularly coming out of the post-pandemic. So as we're moving forward, and I know we do that 3-4 times a year, we're evaluating ridership demands and where people are traveling as we're increasing frequency, looking at new routes. So it is a practice that our planners partake in several times a year, and we'll continue to do that. But for that request, we will look at specific boardings and lightings at the post-secondary campuses. Thank you.
Thank you very much, General Manager.
Commissioner Jubb?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Through you to Mr. Holmes. Bill, nice seeing you. I just have one question. I'm just looking for an update on increasing service to respond to the loss of our GO bus Route 81, which obviously we know connected Brock, Stugog to the Whitby GO terminal. I know we were waiting on numbers and stats from Metrolinx. I just wonder if you have a recent update on this.
Thank you. And through the chair, we are in the process of adding the 8,000 hours of on-demand services that were approved for this year's budget. We're in the process of doing that and ramping up so that in September, those weekly hours will be demonstrating that increase. In terms of our request to Metrolinx for the information, we still have not received that information back from them. We continue to make those requests, and as soon as we get that, we will again follow up to ensure that our capacity is adequate for the number of residents. I can share there was an article in DurhamRegion.com yesterday, which was specific to Route 81, which indicated that there were 20 boardings or 20 riders per day on weekdays and 17 riders on weekends. So if people are going to and from a location, you could make the assumption that's about 10 people per day using the Route 81. So that data was in DurhamRegion.com. Where they're boarding and lighting, we don't know yet, but that's the level of detail that we've requested for both their decision on the Route 81 and the 88A, and we anxiously await that information. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough, and thanks for that update. Looking forward to those numbers once they do come in. I had a resident reach out to me yesterday. I said I would bring it up today, so I know we're committed to looking at a possible route to connect Durham to Simcoe County, and it was going to be this fall. So I just wanted to know if there's been any movement on that. I know we're only still in the spring, but I wanted to throw it near you.
Thank you. And through the chair, that is still on our work plan to reach out to Metrolinx and also Simcoe to talk about any potential partnerships that may enable that to happen. That won't happen until this fall, but we still have that on our work plan for 2024, or 2023, sorry.
Okay, thanks for that, Bill. I just wanted to give you a gentle reminder. That's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions? I don't see any hands. If not, thank you very much for your report. We have no delegations, no correspondence, and under reports, we have 3 reports. The first one is the General Manager's report. I need a mover and a seconder. You have a question, or do you want to? Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Schumer, do you have a question? Did you have a question?
Yes. Has the motion been moved?
Okay, I'm gonna get a seconder to move all 3 reports, and then I'll come right back to you. Is that okay?
Okay.
Do you want to second it?
Sure.
Oh, he did? Oh, we did. Okay, good. All in favor? Oh, it's confusing. Huh? What? Oh. Does anyone have a poll? Commissioner Schumer?
7.1, please.
7.1. Okay. Any other polls? Okay. Now I can go on the remainder. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Commissioner Schumer.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Chair. Through you to I guess the General Manager, just with respect to the statistics in the report, and I guess I'm looking at page 4 of 21, where it has demand responsive, and it does indicate a line item there for unaccommodated rate, but it has the notation number 3, demand response platform currently not reporting unaccommodated rate. For starters, that is designed, or that stat would be the stats on how many requests for on-demand have had to be denied. That's what that stat would be.
Thank you. And through the chair, specialized services in the past used a software which actively and manually tracked trips that were unable to be delivered because of capacity issues or what that might be. As we are transitioning to the on-demand network and the amalgamation of the services, on-demand platforms typically, at this point in time, have not included that unaccommodated trip feature. It is something that we are looking at with our new vendor. And I would ask if Christopher Norris, perhaps he can give us a quick summary of what we might see in the future, but we are still working with our vendor on that. Again, in response, I know you've raised this issue in the past, and it is important for us to understand what does that look like, and we need the data for that. So Christopher, do you have a quick update on what that might look like?
Through the chair, we expect to be able to transition probably towards the early fall onto that enhanced platform. We should be able to capture a lot more data than what we are today with our current vendor, including not just unaccommodated rates for the specialized customer, but also for that on-demand customer. So that data that we don't have access to today will enable us to adjust where we deploy the capacity to better react to the demands of customers, so that we can deploy that capacity that we have available to match the demand and decrease or eliminate the unaccommodated rate, but also increase the number of trips that are successful on the actual time that customers are requesting them. So we are looking forward to being able to do that transition, and that will be done at the same time as we are deploying the additional on-demand hours that General Manager Holmes alluded to earlier.
Okay, thank you very much, because I think that answers the two other questions I was going to ask. So we can hopefully look forward that in early fall, I believe it was, that we would start seeing these statistics.
Correct.
Okay, and just for clarification as well, that will accommodate the statistics for both the trips that are I guess, refused for whatever reason, capacity or what have you, but will it also accommodate statistics for when a return trip fails for whatever reason?
So through the chair, what I do suggest is we'll be meeting again in September, and perhaps at the September meeting we can bring a sort of a full detail of what those stats are going to look like, and have that discussion at that point. It'll give us time to work with the vendor to make sure that we've clarified everything as well, and we'll have that discussion in September if that's okay with you, and we'll bring that information forward.
Great, thank you very much.
If there's no other questions, I need, this has been moved and seconded. Just all in favor proceeding? Thank you. We have no resolutions from the advisory committee, although we did have our first meeting, I think it was last month. It seems like a long time ago. No confidential other matters. And under other business, is there any other business? Commissioner Brenner?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I want to thank General Manager for circulating the letter that was sent to me from our post-secondary partners out in Oshawa. I was wondering, through you to the General Manager, would it be possible to take a look at this request again as we go forward into the fall? Been a change in the leadership at the university in terms of the student council, and I believe they are reaching out to open the lines of communication to look at how best to tap the satisfaction level at the post-secondary level. And I'm, rather than trying to deal with it today, Mr. General Manager, would it be possible to look at how we can address it in the fall?
You can take this.
Thank you. And through the chair, appreciate the heads up on the letter that you received and was able to circulate. I know we did have a fulsome discussion and very similar issues that were raised back in December by the previous leadership at OTSU, which we reported in January. The question about surveying specifically post-secondary students in terms of what the demands are, we did say we'd take that into consideration as we're looking at our overall customer survey process. So again, I would respond to say we are evaluating how we are going to re-engage and restart our customer survey process. We will be doing that in the fall in terms of looking at how we're going to restructure that. I would say as well that we are very engaged with our post-secondary institutions, and with the change in leadership, we are moving forward with more collaborative discussions, and I know Zephy will be leading those with us, and if she is planning discussions. And I will just close by saying, we do have a very collaborative relationship. We work very well and have worked well. I don't think there's an adversarial relationship at all. On behalf of DRT, we're very open to feedback, input, what's working, what's not, and we take that into consideration. And to your point, we will look at how can we consider surveying and making sure that students that attend post-secondary are participating in our customer survey process. And we can come back in the fall with what that will look like.
I really appreciate it. And I'm certainly not suggesting for a moment that it's a bad relationship at all, Mr. Holmes. I'm just suggesting that new leadership, great opportunity to rebuild, and great opportunity in the fall where we have new students coming into the post-secondary school system to find the ways that you're talking about, and it's consistent with the direction given previously to reevaluate our outreach and our ability to survey our customers. And I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you. Through the chair. Speaking of surveys, Councillor Wu and Councillor Swart, they're anxiously awaiting the results of the survey. Since it affects the Newcastle area probably more than anywhere else, so I was asked to get that information, so I'm doing so. Thanks.
So I believe the survey closed May 21st, May 6th. So I know we've got all the data. We're working through it now to try to interpret what it means. And we'll come back in September, October with a summary of what the outcome of the survey was. And again, that will inform then our future service plan. So I'm going to say October, we'll come back with a summary of what those results were. And as well, we'll engage with the Newcastle staff as well, so they're aware in advance.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else with any other business? Seeing none. Our next meeting is September the 6th. So have a wonderful summer, even though we're not done yet. But as far as transit goes, we'll have a safe summer. And I need a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Garrett? Commissioner Anderson? All in favor? Thank you. Have a good day.